Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 happiest countries to live in the world 2024. Frigid temperatures, dark winter days, a breathtakingly high cost of living. Who would ever want to live in a place like that? As it turns out, that is precisely where one can find the happiest people on planet Earth. It's been more than 10 years since the first ever World Happiness Report was released. Since then, the United Nations has released an annual ranking of the world's happiest countries, the places where the populations are, on average, more content than in other destinations. In that time, many nations have gone through a multi-year pandemic, natural disasters, and wars, but the UN and governments across the globe remain committed to finding out what, exactly, makes people happier so they can develop policies to increase well-being. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 happiest countries to live in the world 2024. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 happiest countries to live in the world 2024. Number 10. Australia. Australia has vaulted back into the top 10 of the World Happiness Report for the first time since 2018. However, its total score in terms of life evaluation, 70/57, is lower than last year, 70/95, and the advancement in the ranking can be attributed to the even larger deterioration experienced by New Zealand, which occupied the 10th spot in 2023. In both cases, the report notes, the level of overall happiness is much lower among the youth and rises gradually with age to peak the highest among the old. Still, ranking amongst the 10 happiest countries globally is nothing to complain about. With their high wages, employment rate, and life expectancy, and putting aside their outstanding marks when it comes to altruism, about 40% of them are registered as volunteers. Australians can consider themselves true winners. Australia boasts one of the highest standards of living in the world, with its healthy lifestyle, excellent healthcare, and education system. The country's pollution-free air, temperate climate, and natural ecosystems make it an ideal place to live. Number 9. Switzerland. After conquering first place in the 2015 World Happiness Report, Switzerland slowly started losing ground. Indeed, while the Swiss might be feeling crankier than usual, they are far from miserable. Fear not, Switzerland remains a country that seems to have been created precisely for the pursuit of happiness. It can boast postcard landscapes and clean air, state-of-the-art infrastructure and education services, both great wealth and equal distribution of resources. Making chocolate and cheese and not war helps too. Switzerland is notoriously neutral and has not been involved in a war since 1847. Or has it? In a sharp break with its past neutrality, Switzerland joined the European Union in imposing sanctions on Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. It's a wealthy country with a high standard of living and high wages, plus the Swiss landscape is unrivaled in its beauty. Many of the world's wealthiest people live, do business, and holiday in Switzerland, which makes it one of the best countries in the world for living. Number 8. Luxembourg. Just 8 years ago, this land of castles, lakes, and rolling hills occupied the 20th position in the happiness ranking. Luxembourg made it into the top 10 in the 2020 edition of the report, and has not fallen out of it since. This very small nation of less than 700,000 people scores above average in social connections, subjective well-being, freedom to make life choices and life expectancy. And while money cannot buy happiness, Luxembourg being among the richest countries in the world where workers enjoy an average gross salary of almost 7,000 euros per month certainly doesn't hurt. Luxembourg is one of the safest and most desirable places to live in the world. It ranks consistently high in the quality of life indexes, especially for expats looking to work abroad. Luxembourgers are one of the richest people in the European Union. Number 7. Norway. It is one of the most prosperous countries in the world and one of the most virtuous. Norwegians think that democracy should enforce social and economic equality. The result is less income and gender disparity, excellent free healthcare, and more confidence in elected officials. Social and institutional trust are essential factors in one's sense of personal well-being, and the COVID-19 pandemic proved it starkly. In that sense, Norway has been particularly successful in keeping mortality rates low and mitigating the economic impact of lockdowns. While over the past few years, Norway has been slipping in the ranking, it occupied the top spot in 2017, there is no doubt that its social model remains an extraordinary success story. Norway is known as a safe country with very low crime rates and high quality of life. Expats should feel very comfortable living in Norway. Norway is also an attractive country for its active outdoor lifestyle, low crime rate, universal healthcare, and its reputation as a great place to raise a family. Number 6. Netherlands. Losing one spot in this year's ranking, people in the Netherlands still have very few reasons to complain. The Dutch are more affluent, educated, and free to make their own life choices than at any point in their country's history. This year's happiness report underscores that the top 10 no longer include any of the world's most populous nations, with the Netherlands and Australia being the only ones with populations exceeding 15 million. Remarkably, among the countries in the top 10, the Netherlands also showed the smallest gap between the most and least happy people. In other words, the Dutch experience similar levels of happiness, and they are quite high. The Netherlands is known for having a high quality of life, with excellent healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The country is also very safe and clean, with a low crime rate. The Netherlands is a very tolerant country, and foreigners are generally accepted and welcomed. Number 5. Israel. It might be surprising to find Israel close to the very top of the UN Happiness Index amid the country's ongoing war with Gaza. There is a simple explanation: the scoring for individual nations is determined by averaging survey data from the most recent 3 years, specifically from 2021 through 2023. Still, the collective sense of empathy and solidarity, and thereby happiness levels, as also proved by the COVID-19 pandemic, tend to rise when a crisis hits. It is also worth noting that since the index was released for the first time a decade ago, Israel never slipped below the 14th spot. But how could this nation of roughly 10 million, surrounded by hostile neighbors and perpetually embroiled in conflict, truly be so happy? Easy answer: happiness is not just determined by the presence or the lack of one given element. Israel is a rich and vibrant country where people can rely on strong community ties and feel they can decide how to pursue their goals in life. Creative and diverse come to mind when describing the Israeli way of life, while informality, frankness, and warmth define interactions in most spheres. Family and friends are all important in Israeli culture, as is hospitality and openness towards others. Number 4. Sweden. Sweden jumped 2 spots in the happiness ranking from the number 6 position it occupied last year. Sweden has consistently ranked high on the list thanks to its affluence, strong social support networks, and perceived honesty and accountability of its institutions. The Scandinavian country also boasts an enviable work-life balance. It offers the longest paid vacation period compared to any other country in the world, 41 days, while new parents can take up 480 days, during which they receive around 80% of their salary. One downside? Taxes are high. The personal income tax rate is close to 60%. Fiscal revenues, however, are used for universal healthcare, free university, and a great number of social programs to help people learn new skills and take advantage of job opportunities. Sweden tops 2 out of 10 categories: quality of life and social purpose. Furthermore, Sweden is ranked the best country to be a woman and raise children in, and for a sustainable lifestyle. Number 3. Iceland. Iceland routinely tops a wide variety of quality of life rankings. Chosen by both the World Economic Forum as the best country in the world for gender equality and the Institute for Economics and Peace as the most peaceful for more than 10 years in a row, this republic of about 390,000 is one of the most environmentally friendly too. Iceland also have the highest per capita publication of books. 10% of its residents will embark on the noble quest of penning one in their lifetime, which must be something that makes them really happy. Iceland has sat in the 3rd position in the happiness ranking since 2022, and with its enchanting landscapes, low taxes, and free healthcare and education, it is no surprise that it is so close to the top of the UN index. Iceland is considered one of the safest countries in the world, with low crime rates. Iceland is renowned for its stunning natural landscapes, including glaciers, geysers, and waterfalls. Iceland has a high standard of living with good health. Finland. Finland did it again. It vaulted from 5th place to the top of the ranking in 2018 and seems determined to stay firmly put. Finns also have a lot going for them. This country of very happy people enjoys high standards of living, a thriving cultural life, and 3 million very relaxing saunas. With more forest per square mile than any other European nation, many Finns also credit their connection with nature and the outdoors for their satisfaction with life. To not be selfish, the reigning champion of happiness even offers tips to the rest of the world on how to live better. Along with a lot of swimming, hiking, and biking, through its tourism organization, it recommends long walks in forests overflowing with berries, mushrooms, and wild herbs. You've never seen anything remotely like that where you live? That's exactly the point. They are telling you to come visit. Finland is a northern European country that has been leading the rankings of the happiest countries in the world for many years. That is why this Scandinavian pearl is an attractive place for many expats who want to build a new life in a unique corner of Europe. So, which are your favorite countries among the top 10 happiest countries to live in the world 2024? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite places among the top 10 happiest countries to live in the world 2024 in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.